Okay, for this practice, you might want a cushion or a bolster when we get to that deep pigeon, especially if your hips are tight or your knees are sore. A cushion is going to help. You can also use a block and a strap. So get all your goodies, find your seat. Let's roll the shoulders out. I got my second booster yesterday, so I'm really sore. So if I'm only moving one side of my body, that's why. Bring your shoulders back and bring your shoulders forward. Just kind of let them roll around the side of your rib cage a few times. And settle your hands. Let's take one ear to one shoulder, and we'll do some nice little neck circles. Just really trying to bring our awareness here into our bodies. And then with the head up, bring your hands together, rub your hands together briskly, get a little heat in your palms. And then let your hands rest, palm up, close your eyes, and take a few deep, slow breaths. And here we are. All of the doing brought us right here. The busyness of a summer morning. Just observe what you've been doing until this moment. And in your mind's eye, just watch as you made the effort to get to your mat and sat down, and observe yourself sitting here. Take some deep breaths and just assess what's happening in your body. What do you notice? Are there any aches and pains? Familiar places? Are you noticing a busy mind this morning? How's your energy? Are you feeling a little bit jumpy or a little bit sleepy? How's your energy? And then let's just let yoga do what yoga does, balancing all of that, our mind, our body, our energy. Today we'll do all the pigeons. We'll do figure 4, standing, seated, lying down, face down, and we'll really encourage our hips to be a softer, gentler place today. So let's begin some gentle hip openers by just bringing the soles of our feet together. And I'm going to scoot right to the front edge of this bolster and put a little bit of weight on the inner knees with my hands. Sitting with a nice tall spine, just feel your outer hips strong and your inner hips stretchy. And take deep breaths here, just noticing this first sensation. The hips are an interesting place in the body. They're an intersection of one trunk and 2 lower limbs, the place of mobility, movement. This is our sacral chakra, which is our center of creativity, and it's also where we store emotions. If you're on a bolster or a block, go ahead and come onto the floor and keep the soles of the feet together, but we're just going to grab the outsides of the knees and pull the knees in, and then take the inside of the knees, press out. So use your hands to do this action, in and out, just feeling that external rotation as your knees go out, and adduction as your legs come together. Let's see if you feel anything different on the 2 sides. Another little assessment here. And then bend your right foot outward. So you're sitting in kind of a mermaid type of position. If that hip comes off the floor, that's okay. Left hand on the ground, right arm up and over. And just use this as a way to get into the crease of that right hip, the side body. And go ahead and turn toward your left knee, both hands on the ground, and just take a little twist here through the torso. You can extend that back leg a little bit. And you can see that we're already almost in pigeon. A little variation. Just assessment. And then come back to center, butterfly. Bend the left knee outward. Just be easy on the knee. Right hand to the ground, left arm comes up and over. Checking in. You can move around through the hips. Just kind of see where your tightness is, where your body resists. Reach a little bit farther and then go ahead and place your hand on the mat. Turn to look to the side. Maybe extend that back leg a bit more. We're just finding the places that feel like they're a little bit tight and resistant. And then from here, use the weight of your hands to help you come up to your knees. Find yourself in tabletop, and we'll start to move through cat-cow. And give a lot of extra attention to the movement around the hips. Finding our way back to tabletop position, extend the right leg out behind you, and then open that knee out to the side and swing it across the bottom leg. We're going to do that 3 times. Open out to the right, swing across, open out. And as we come across this time, just let the foot come to the floor, roll to the outside edge, and just let your hips kind of swivel over to the right. Again, we're just exploring, kind of softly knocking on the door of this new territory. And back to center. Press back to child's pose, 1 breath. And up again to tabletop. We'll extend the left leg out straight behind you and then open to the right, open to the side, and cross over. We'll do that 3 times. Waking up those deep hip muscles. And as that leg comes across, put the foot on the side of the foot, swivel your hips a little bit to the left. You might even feel that all the way up into the waist, the low ribs. And go ahead and come back to center. Press back to child's pose. Let's keep our arms active, starting now to wake up and stretch through the chest. And let your body rock from side to side. Let's tuck our toes under and pause for just a moment, stretching underneath the toes, across the fascia on the bottom of the feet. When you feel ready, start to lift up into your first downward facing dog. Heels down, toes lift. I'm going to start by just pedaling the heels. Put a nice big bend in one knee, straighten the other. Go fast or slow here. Then we're going to do a fun little dance step. You're going to take one foot and cross it behind the other. Pick it up and switch. So we're just going to keep crossing behind the ankle. Like you're braiding your feet. And settle back into downward facing dog. Feet wide now. Bring your hands back about one hand length. Soften those knees. And then one hand comes to the outer ankle of the opposite leg. Give a little tug here. You're looking right up underneath your armpit. And take a sniff if you want. See if your deodorant's working. And then switch. Reach across, give a little pull. Waking up the legs. And bring yourself up to a forward fold. You can touch your fingers to your elbows. You can touch your hands to the ground, just asking permission through the back of the body. Let's lift halfway, soften the knees, and then scoop the arms high. Extended mountain. Bring your hands to your heart. All right, so from the top of your mat, let's do a couple of sun salutations, and we're going to do some variations today that invite us even more into the hips. So we'll start with a nice deep breath in, arms high, take a back bend. Let your hips press forward, let your rib cage lift. And then moving slowly from the hips, push your hips back, pull your chin forward, and come down into your hamstrings. Forward fold. From here, we'll step our left foot back, low lunge. Take a second to let that hip flexor find its length. And then downward facing dog. Again, pedal your heels, shift your weight around. We'll float forward onto our toes. You can stay there or drop your knees. Spin the elbows and lower halfway down, pause. Hold right here, let your triceps shake a little bit. And then let's all melt to the floor, roll the shoulders, great big roll, lift up to cobra. And then press back downward facing dog. And let's do that crossover walk again. Bring up a foot, crossing it behind. Feet and ankles loose and warm. And downward facing dog. Looking forward, bring your feet to your hands, lift halfway, and fold forward. Rise up, take that back bend, and bring your hands to your heart. All right, let's go one more time, just like that. Rise up, and bow low. Step the right foot back, find that low lunge. Let's pause, the same way we did before. And then step back downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa on your knees or toes. Pause to let those triceps shake a little. And we'll meet in downward facing dog, and let's crisscross again. Just keep the juices going. And downward facing dog, press your chest toward your toes, big exhale. And looking forward, feet to hands, lift and lower. And then make this grand gesture, scoop the arms way back, out and up. And bring your hands to your heart. All right, we're warm, yeah? So first pigeon of the day, we're gonna do standing pigeon. So we're gonna take our weight onto our left foot, and we're gonna pick up our right knee, open the knee, and place the ankle just above the knee. You can use whatever you have around you for balance. When you feel like you're stable, go ahead and sit down on that one leg and bring your hands to your heart. And take a few deep breaths here. Just asking permission of the body. Eyes on one point is super helpful. If you fall, just come right back. No harm in falling. Right? That just means we're learning something new. Go ahead and come up, bring the knee forward and down, and then just walk your feet out a little bit. Kind of loosen up through the hips, and we'll take that same shape on the other side. So planting down through the right foot, lift the left knee, open it up, and we'll take that figure 4. It's helpful to keep this foot flexed. It's going to protect this knee. And then just sit down onto your little one-legged chair. Standing pigeon. Good. Just breathing. Remember, no sharp pain. Always just maybe discomfort, but not sharp pain. And then rising up, set that foot down. Take the feet a little bit wider and shift your hips from side to side. Start to feel those muscles on the outer edges. I can't say the name because it will make me want a latte. Yes, I can. Tensor fascia lata. All right, so left hip goes out. Keep your right hand on the crease, and then left arm comes up and over. Just move into the side of that hip, side body. And switch. Right hip goes out, hand presses into the crease. Right arm lifts up and over. Good. Step out wide on your mat, toes turn to the corners. Let's go a little deeper into these hips. So inhale, lift. We'll do some sunflowers. Scoop as low as you can. Start to feel heat and a nice little pressure in the front of those hips as the back opens. Sink as low as your knees allow and move with your breath. Ujjayi breath is super helpful. That H sound keeps the heat, helps you retain your heat. We'll do 3 more. And come up all the way, 5-pointed star. Turn toward your right foot and go ahead and drop your hands down. Drop the back knee down. So just stretching here across the hip flexor. Let's bring the hands to the inside of the foot and we'll drop that knee in and out. Juicing the hip. We've been doing this a lot this month. And then as that knee opens up, bring your hand off the mat and just press to your inner knee. So it kind of looks like this. Just pressing that knee open. Coming back to center, tucking the back toes underneath. Let's bring ourselves back to the center, turn the toes out, wide side of the mat, lunge left and right. Little by little, our hips are getting the memo, but we're coming in. Let's go toward the left knee, turn to the side, low lunge, and drop that knee down. Hands to the inside of the foot and just start to juice your hip. Knee comes out and in. Woo. And as that knee goes out, just take the opposite hand off the mat. Give a little pressure on the inside of that knee again. While we're doing these kind of awkward shapes, pay attention to your low back. And never go into a place where it might feel good in your hips, but if your low back is rebelling, the back is the boss. All right, and we come back to center. Let's tuck our back toes and we'll step back foot to front foot, lengthen halfway and come into a deep forward fold. Grab a hold of the backs of your heels, gently pull yourself down. Take deep breaths. And then with soft knees, rise up, extended mountain, find that little back bend. And the hands come to heart center. Okay, we're gonna pick up where we left off. So right knee, figure four. Have a seat. Hands to the heart. And if you'd like to go a little farther this time, you can bring your elbows down toward that shin. That might even make you a little more stable. If that is a green light, try fingers down toward the mat. So you're kind of in a forward fold version of figure four. And of course, we're breathing. Bring your hands back up, rise up, and march it out. And we'll switch. Left foot, figure four. Sink down into that one-legged chair. You can stay here or reach those fingers down. A little deep stretch around the hip, some balance. And if you start to latch your toes backwards around your tricep, you're setting yourself up for eventually coming into a arm balance, which we can look at the next round if you'd like. And come up and swivel those hips side to side. Feels good, huh? All right, turn the toes out to the corners. Let's do straight up and down squats this time, goddess squats. Same feeling in the hips. Build a little heat. And it's kind of like we're trying to scrub out the corners, right? We're kind of getting in there and cleaning things out. 3 more. And hold, goddess, reach out, sun pose. And let's come up onto our toes. We'll build a little heat here. Deep breaths. Maybe a little shaking. It is Warrior Wednesday. We love it. Sink a little lower. And then drop those heels. Reach your arms high. Windmill your hands again over toward your right foot. And we'll come into low lunge. Let's take our first twist. So hand can be on the floor or a block. Right arm lifts up. And see if you can feel this clear down in your hips. So reaching higher, twisting farther. Work into those hips. Lower the hand, lower the back knee, and come into lizard pose. We're gonna do this a little differently today. We're gonna keep the knee up instead of dropping it open. So you're gonna walk your left toes forward. So I kind of have to kind of scooch the toes forward. And then you can either stay on your hands or come down to 1 or 2 elbows. A block is kind of nice right here. So that foot's a little more forward. You're kind of moving toward a split here. Make your breath a little more steady. Okay, this next piece is a little bit tricky. So we're going to bring the elbow, kind of turn on an angle so you can see this, the elbow underneath that front knee. You can kind of see that we're just putting that front shin out in front of that arm, and then we're just going to tuck the back toes. So your arm is underneath your knee. Big hip opener. If you want to work a little harder, you can pick that foot up off the floor. Easier said than done. And we're going to drop the knee to the ground, unwind everything. Come to child's pose. Breathe, everyone. And then let's invite the left foot forward. Moving into our twist. So tucking the toes, plant the hand, and scoop that left arm up. Open as much as you can to feel your hips extending, expanding, breathing. And releasing that hand to the inside of the foot, drop the back knee. And let's move into this version of lizard. So the knee stays up, toes scooch forward. You can stay on your hands or drop to one or two elbows. And then that's a lot of work. So catch your breath. Make your breath even, steady. Patience, right? Learning patience with our bodies. You can scoop the elbow underneath the knee, come up to your hands. So your elbows stay bent, tuck the back toes. A little bit of leverage there. If you feel like lifting that leg, that's a lot of work, but a fun goal. Let's drop the knee, scoot back one more time. This time a very, very wide child's pose. Knees wide, head down, rock your hips. And then downward facing dog, option to take a vinyasa if you like. Just a little heat. And then we'll bring our feet to our hands, lift halfway, and we'll scoop all the way up, extended mountain, and back to the heart. Okay, we're ready for our last standing pigeon. So standing on the right, bending the left, let's come down. You're gonna have a nice low seat, hands at the heart. We're gonna add in a twist on this side. So an easy version is left hand to the bottom of the foot, right hand on the back. That's a nice twist. A deeper option is left elbow to the arch of the foot. And there's a hip opener. And we'll come out of that, march it out, and switch. Go ahead and stand on the left, take your pigeon with the right knee. And do me a favor, don't get frustrated with yourself with these poses. These are just poses to just be curious about, not to make perfect. So you can take the twist with your hands or work toward the elbow. There's nothing here to perform. There's nothing to accomplish. If you fall, you're just getting right back up and trying again and again. We're learning patience. You love it when your teacher falls, don't you? That's super fun. Okay, come on out. Swivel those hips. Very, very nice, everyone. Okay, so does anyone want to play with the arm balance version of those poses? Wave your hands at the screen if you'd like to give it a shot. I'm seeing some like maybes. Okay, so we're gonna go there, but we have a lot of options along the way. So you're gonna wanna be facing the top of your mat so that you have a nice runway. Let's start with the right foot in figure 4 and a nice deep seat. We've done plenty of warm up here, so you can stay right there. You can twist again, like we did last summer. You can forward fold. All right, so for the arm balance, latch your toes backwards around the back of your tricep, walk your hands forward, and you're gonna start to bring your shin onto the backs of your arms. And if you're looking forward, that's gonna really help. Okay, wobble, wobble, wobble. And come to standing. So that's just something to play with. That's something to keep coming back to. And I advise you to do all of the warm up that we've done today on your way into that. So let's take it to the second side. Really deep sit. Hands heart, or you can just stay here in your twist. You can stay here in your forward fold. If you'd like to practice the arm balance, hands come forward, latch those toes, shin on the back of your arms, look forward. Yeah, nice, nice. All right, good. So take a deep breath in, reach high. Bow low, and let's do that a few times. Reach and bow. So whatever happened there, it's perfect. And you actually could use this class, come back to this class on YouTube and just do a 30-minute practice leading up to that. Get yourself nice and warm and then work on progressing with an arm balance. Take a deep breath in one more time. Lift and lengthen backwards. And bow to the floor. Let's step back. Downward facing dog. All right, raise your right leg. Bend the knee and open the hip toward the right side. Wiggle the toes. Circle the ankle. And I think we are ready for pigeon. So we're gonna drag the right knee toward the right wrist and drop the back knee. So we're here for a while, so go ahead and get yourself set up. You can place a block underneath your right hip. A restorative option that I absolutely love is the cushion across the mat, the knee in front, so your hips are just on top of that bolster. And you can use a block or a cushion under your head. That feels so much better to my knees. And it still gives me a really, really nice hip opening. So take a moment to find your pigeon, your half pigeon, where the right hip is rotated and the left leg is long behind you. See if you can rest your head on something, whether it's your stacked hands or a block. Just give the weight of your head down to something. And now take deep breaths all the way down into your hips. As your body settles here, you might scoot your left kneecap back just a little bit further. Allow gravity to take over. And just give your attention to what's happening in your hips. If your body could talk, do you have a sense of what it would be saying right now? So as we move up into Swan, you're welcome to stay here if you'd like some more time in Half Pigeon. This is really enjoyable for a lot of people, so feel free to stay there. If you'd like to come into Swan, maybe you're using a strap around your back foot. I just like to loop it around the ankle back there. And then you're just bending that back knee. And you can play with that in any way you like, the band coming over the shoulder, the arms in the air. Maybe it feels good just to reach your hand back without the strap. So you can decide what works best for you today. Just getting a deep quadricep stretch. When you're ready, we will release. Let's tuck the back toes under and we'll slowly reach up. Shake that leg out. Open up the hip. Flip your dog if you like. Let the foot come to the floor. Say yes. However you like to get out of pigeon. And then let's switch sides. So if you used a pillow before, leave it right where it is. Left leg comes high, open up the hip. Put some life around your ankle. And then draw the knee forward toward the left wrist. A little tricky if you've got a cushion there. And you can just situate your hips on top of the pillow or put a block there. Okay? When you're ready, find your half pigeon on the left side. Support your head. Breathe. So this part of our body, the Sacral Chakra, it is believed that this develops between about ages 1 and 3. During that time, you are getting up off your little diaper and starting to make your way through the world. You're learning to be mobile. You're getting independent. You're learning you can journey from here to there without any help. So this part of your body wakes up and you discover this ability to flow out into life. So looking back between the ages of 1 and 3, was that development supported for you? Were you encouraged to be independent and curious, inquisitive? And then at one point, did we become stuck and stop moving with such freedom and ease? When did we become rigid and sit more than we move? worth an inquiry, I think. You can come up into Swan any way you like, using a strap, simply bending the knee, or reaching back with a hand. We're just listening to the whispers of the body. What is the body saying here? And we'll release this, come out of the pose any way you like. You can shake out the leg, open the hip, flip the dog, whatever feels like a nice counter pose for you. And as we come around, or come to the ground, we're going to find a seat. All the pigeons, so we have to do seated pigeon, right? So let's take our right knee on top of our right ankle on top of our left knee, and you can just sit back on your hands. Press that knee away from you, lift your chest. So the closer your bottom foot is to you, and the straighter your spine, the deeper you will feel this. You can stay right here, you can move around a little bit. An option to stay here or to cradle the baby. So same action, but just holding the foot and the knee with your hand or your elbows. And if you're doing that, I think it feels really good to just massage that hip, to just roll around the hip like you're giving yourself a nice little massage. And then we'll just let that foot cross the bottom leg and we'll move into a twist. So fingertips on the back of the head, rotate the torso, either set the hand or the elbow on that knee and twist. Ring out through your belly. And as we come back to center, we'll just switch sides. So this foot is ready for the left knee to come up, left ankle on right knee. Sit as tall as you can, hands in close, flexing the foot. And again, you can move or hold still. And choosing either to stay here or move into cradle the baby. Any way you want to go, we're still in this external rotation, deep hip rotator stretch. Try to keep your foot flexed to protect your knee. Nice, everyone. Cross the bottom leg, sit tall. Fingertips back, and we'll rotate into a seated twist, either hand or elbow. You're just looking over that back shoulder. The inhale always makes you taller. The exhale wrings things out. And coming back to center. Uncross, take a hold of both back knees and roll down to your back. Let the knees come in. And give yourself a little hug, a little movement. All right, so one more pigeon. reclining pigeon. So let's drop our left foot, cross the right ankle over, and then reach down and pull in. Both feet are flexed. Press the right knee away from you, pull the left leg in. And if you'd like, you can straighten that left leg, grab the toes so you can pull that leg in while the right knee pushes away. Just be careful with your left knee that you're not hyperextending. Breathing all the way down into the belly. And as we release, let's place the left foot on the floor. Keep your figure four for a twist. So we're gonna open the arms, drop the legs over to the left side, turn your head to the right. And that foot just stays kind of wedged against the bottom thigh. Breathe into your belly. Let your body sink as you exhale. Let your hands start to loosen and relax. Your toes loosen. Your face soften. And then with core engaged, bring the knees back and switch. Left ankle to right knee, pull the legs in. And you're just gonna push that left knee out a bit. You can stay here or straighten the leg. I kind of like that one, but you do have to work hard to keep a slight bend in the right knee. Otherwise, you're gonna press into a hyperextended knee, and that won't feel good. Just pressing on the left knee, deep breath into your belly. And moving into that twist, keep your figure four, arms open. Let's drop those legs to the right, turn your head to the left. And then gravity takes over. Fill up your rib cage with each inhale. And let your body be heavy as you exhale. Slowly returning to center. Let's let both knees come to the floor, arms at the sides, lifting up into bridge. We'll do one gentle inversion with the hips coming up. You're welcome to slide something underneath you if you'd like. Just let the front of your body be expanded. Just noticing the space around the heart as you inhale. The lungs inflate and squeeze your heart. As your lungs deflate, they open up space so your heart can enlarge, can sit in this nice wide open spaciousness. So inhale, squeeze your heart. Exhale, let that space be open. One more deep breath. And as we release, lower the hips, extend the legs, and find your way into Shavasana, final rest. Wiggle around until your body finds a place to settle. Feel free to use any of your props or coverings, eye pillows, whatever you have that makes it easy to relax. As you come into rest, you might keep a visual in your mind of that breathing heart hug, so that each soft inhale just feels like a very gentle squeeze at your heart that sits nestled there between your two lungs. And as you exhale, just feel your heart soft and expansive. This beautiful dance between the two with every single breath. Let's invite our next breath to be a little deeper, more full. And on the exhale, just let that whole breath go with a sigh. And just start to move your body, fingers and toes, elbows and ankles. Take a deep, luxurious stretch into the space around you, maybe even a yawn. When you feel ready, roll over to one side and bring yourself back to a seat. And let's bring our hands together in front of our hearts, this gesture of gratitude. I'd like to leave you with the words of Danna Faulds in her Praying to Be Kind poem. I used to think that being smart, successful, and accomplished was the key. And then I believed that being a disciplined seeker would open the doors to divinity. Now, it seems to me all that really matters is being kind. Kind to my stumbling, imperfect self. Kind to every other being I meet along the way. I pray for the rough edges of my judgment to be smoothed, so that what remains is kindness and acceptance of this unfolding moment. Inside this kindness, may I find truth, and may truth illumine my way today. So placing our thumbs at our brow, may we leave here with kind thoughts. Our hands to our lips, may we choose kind words. Hands to our heart, may we have a kind heart to all that we meet. And opening our hands, may we find kind actions. Thank you all for being here today, folks. I appreciate you so much. Namaste.